Stocktwits is the leading social platform for active investors and traders where millions of market participants connect to discuss markets in real time. Currently, there are 10 million active users on the platform who are sharing and seeking information about stocks and crypto and ETFs. And with me is the founder and CEO, Howard Lindzon. Howard, what a success that you have built. I mean, I'm here on Wall Street and people really like what's happening on Stocktwits and talk about how accurate it is. And you've got some new partnerships, including Polymarket. So can you explain how that partnership works?
Well, Polymarket is this, miracle, like when of like this new, form of news, events, speculation, a way for people to bet on events. And in a world where, trading has been around, for 100 years in the CBOE, CME, ICE, New York Stock Exchange, we have this trusted network of people that make markets. A Polymarket evolved in an internet era and a post-internet era of an AI era to let people just bet on events, right? And for Stocktwits partnership, what's perfect about that is young people, the markets are really hard to learn, right? It was really fun during the Web 2 era with Robinhood and Coinbase and the internet to get people to invest on their phone and to speculate and to trade options. And it's wonderful. And then a bear market comes along and people realize they don't know what they're doing. But there has to be an easier way for people to onboard themselves into this amazing world of markets, right? And Polymarket is just one of those new miracle products that kind of came out of nowhere. Prediction markets have been around for a long time. It's been very hard to get them over the hump and get the right partnerships and the legal and the compliance. And Stocktwits has been around a long time, right? Getting people to build a community and share ideas and argue and have fun. And the melding of those two worlds is perfect in an era where there's, tens of millions of young investors that don't know how to invest. They know that there's these terminologies like, hey, earnings are coming out, and I think NVIDIA will beat earnings. And that's a language unto itself. And then the question is, what happens if NVIDIA beats earnings? Will the stock go up or down? Well, with prediction markets, people can onboard themselves with, let's say, $1 bets or $5 bets or $10 bets or trades that play out, and people can learn the markets without having to guess which way the market is going based on that news. So it's kind of that extra layer that will create a new language. And people like on Robinhood launched it with Polymarket competitor, and people have gone nuts for it because it's a new tool that allows people to express their ideas.
And it feels so much more democratic. Like, you don't have to have a Wharton degree. Like you can really learn, how to invest in stocks. So, and you're using AI too, as well, right?
Yeah. Well, in this era of mentorship where, like you said, the post 2008, there was this like outcry against Goldman Sachs and Harvard, and they're still as strong as ever, those institutions, right? But at the same time, tens of millions of people have been onboarded that trade because of Robinhood and Coinbase, and they don't have Harvard degrees. I went to Arizona State University, but there's all these social networks like Stocktwits that allow people to communicate with each other. And once that onboarding and people learn a language much faster, that's just good for markets in general. The more people in the market, the better. Obviously, we want people to make good decisions and have right strategies, but the more people in the market creates more liquidity, and it's just better overall for the world.
Yeah, very true. And AI is something, I think it was Thematic. Was that a company that you partnered with? So how is that working in the Stocktwits universe?
We acquired a company called GoThematic, which is a product that I love that allows people to quickly create indexes that other people can follow. And they quickly built an AI product that allowed people to figure out who's following who and which stocks people are following. We've gone from this social investing era, what Stocktwits is growing still, is we went from this growing era of social networks, which, a lot of the world is rebelling against. And we've entered this AI investing era. So not only do you have social investing, you have this idea of agentic AI, which would deliver me ideas. I tell the machine or I tell the community what I'm looking for, and the machine just spits it back out to me in real time. And so Stocktwits needed to move from this social investing era to an AI investing era. And that's what led to this acquisition, because we have tens of millions of messages and millions of users that love checking in on the site. But wouldn't it be lovely if we could give them more once they check in? If they share with us what they want, we should be able to deliver them what they need in the format that they want, without opening the app or without coming to our website. So unfortunately, like, that's how technology in the business works. Just when you think one way is going to work, you have to disrupt yourself and reimagine how the whole world works. Because in the end, people want ideas. They want friendships. Obviously, social networks prove that. But in the end, there's limitations to that. And then some people just have put in the time. They just want the ideas back.
Yeah.
And that's what, the GoThematic and Stocktwits is becoming more an AI investing product are all about.
Now, how can these help the average investor or somebody who's just starting out? Like, what can they look for that will really help them learn and make some good trading or investment decisions?
It's a good question. The first thing people need to do is build a watch list, right? This is just, that could be the products that they use every day, from Netflix to Apple to Google. So that's just basics number one. The second thing is, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Index investing works, right? It's beaten, most investors for the longest period of time, and it's very low expense. So I think the most important thing for people to do is start investing, right? And if Stocktwits can help you start investing, it's a simple watch list. The second most important thing of Stocktwits is a very lightweight to journal and share your ideas and track how you feel. So even if no one's listening to you, being able to just document how you're investing is important for yourself, right? The more you share, the better you understand how your mood is and how your levels of anxiety or excitement are, the better. So sharing ideas, whether it's just to your family or yourself, is great. So those are two things that Stocktwits allows you to easily do. The third thing is trending, right? Being able to just click a button like Stocktwits and just see what the world is of people that care about markets is thinking about. It really is a quick way to just see what's happening in the markets and dive in that way. So it's just different ways to enter the market, and Stocktwits is trying to give different users the experience they need to just be caught up real fast and to also share real fast.
Yeah. And what about anything new features coming? Can you share that? You talked about disrupting yourself. Any disruptions coming?
Yeah, for us, that just means when people come to Stocktwits, obviously everybody who shares would like their ideas to be viral and everybody to see them. But for 99% of the population, they just want to come and get ideas, right? So that's the conflict social media is facing, right? In that social media created this world where everybody was rushing to share an idea in real time. And then real time became such a mess, right? To the point where Twitter and Facebook have an algorithm that you don't even know who's posting anymore. And so that world, whether people like it or not, called the real-time world, is over. And Stocktwits wants to exist in this post-real-time world where we're trying to teach people that being real-time is not all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes being a minute behind and having a group of people discuss everything and then curate it down to like what's a little bit more important to what you need is important. So Stocktwits believes in this post-real-time world where Twitter and Facebook, it was so good to be true that no one really could figure out what's happening anymore in real time.
Right. Yeah.
And so the idea is to slow things down a little bit so you won't be first. The key is not to be the last person to have an idea. And so that's kind of where we're thinking about the product, is in a world that's just manic for real-time information and inside information and who knows who. I think sometimes it matters to just take a couple steps back, take, an extra minute or two, and the information can be just as good and opportunistic.
Yeah. Still make some money doing it that way. So, Howard, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard about Stocktwits for years. So, it's a pleasure to meet you and hear about what you're doing.
Thanks, Jane.